Good evening, everyone. My name is Vernisha Jones, and I am the president of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. And today I'm hosting this television program for Reverend Jones, the executive director of Fathers Who Care. And we believe that we are the solution to the violence in our community. Fathers Who Care is a nonprofit organization located on the west side of Chicago within the West Garfield Park community. Again, everyone, my name is Vernisha Jones, and I am the president of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. This show will be scheduled every Thursday at 7 p.m. Again, that is every Thursday at 7 p.m. We would like to encourage calls from people watching to call in with your questions or comments at 312-738-1060. Again, that number is 312-738-1060. And you can also view us online at www.cantv.org/live. Again, that is www.cantv.org/live. Well, everyone, I know you noticed this beautiful young lady sitting aside of me. Instead of me introducing her, I will allow her to introduce herself.
Hello everyone, my name is Adrienne Martin. I am with the West Garfield Park Community Stakeholders Executive Group. I am the newly elected chair of the Resources Development Committee. At this time, I would really like to invite anyone out there in the community to please come to our second Wednesday of the month meeting so that you might weigh in as Resource Development Committee looks at what resources we need in the community. We're going to require people to weigh in and let us know what you want your community to reflect. So please call in or certainly join us the second Wednesday of every month for our committee meeting, and we'd like to hear what you think. If you need any more information, please feel free to call 773-287-5821. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Adrienne, for being a guest on our show tonight.
You're very welcome.
Again, everyone, my name is Vernisha Jones, and I am the president of the West Garfield Park Youth Council. You are watching a live interactive call-in television program brought to you by CAN-TV. During the next 25 minutes, we are basically going to discuss the topic of more mature women empowering younger women and what that means to us and basically how we feel about it in our different perspectives. I invite our viewers watching to call in with questions and comments, again at 312-738-1060. That number is 312-738-1060. Our phone lines are open. So today's topic is more mature women empowering younger women. Okay, Miss Adrienne, I have quite a few questions for you. Well, we can take this first caller and then we can get into our questions.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
Great. Oh, my name is John Moore.
Hello, Mr. Moore. How are you today?
Can you turn your TV down, sir?
Just fine.
That's good.
Yes.
Please,
Okay.
what is your comment? What is your question?
Well, my comment is that I understand that I'm not trying to take anything away from you with your beautiful job that you are doing for fathers who care. But I have another issue to take it a little bit further. We have 300 million black fathers locked up in prisons. What are they doing about the fathers who care that are incarcerated and their children are out here?
You know, I think that is such a very powerful topic. It's not something we're going to address on this particular show, but it's one that we obviously need to address. If there's any way that you can leave your name and number, I'd really like to get in contact with you and perhaps have you discuss this with Reverend Jones at some point.
Call the office.
Okay, no problem.
You can just call the 773-287-5821.
Is that possible? Can you give us a call?
Yeah, I can leave my number right now. Yeah, my name is John Moore.
Okay, we're gonna transfer you over to someone who will take your number. We really are looking forward to hearing from you, Mr. Moore. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay, back to our conversation about more mature women empowering younger women.
Okay.
What do you think it takes to empower a younger woman? Like, what type of tools, advice, anything you think it takes to empower a younger woman?
I think most importantly, when we look at the young women of today, we need to provide them role models. We have a nation of queens, and for them to know exactly what the purpose of a queen is or what is queen-like behavior, we have to give them positive examples. That's how they're going to learn. And I think empowering them is the way I empower young people is to lead by example. I cannot ask you to do something that I would not do myself. I can't ask you to not be loud if I'm going to be a very loud person. Everyone's different. We're all going to find our own ways to be empowered. But I think a start is to simply lead by example.
Okay, that was a great answer. Do you have a question that you would like to pose to the audience, what they can call in and answer about?
Yes,
what
I
we're talking
do.
about?
I think that I'm glad you liked my answer, but I don't think that I've really touched the surface. I think that there is plenty that we can do to empower young people, empower young women. So what I'd like to do is, if anyone's out there and they want to discuss what was something that was some queen-like behavior that you saw, I really want you to call in and let us know about it. Please talk with us now.
So, who are you and what is your purpose in life?
Well, who I am is who my parents raised me to be. I am my mother's daughter. I am my father's daughter. I am my aunt's niece. I'm my stepmother's daughter. I'm my godmother's goddaughter. I was raised by younger sisters as far as all of the women in my family. The women who raised me are younger sisters. My mother has an older sister. My mother has a younger sister who is my aunt, and my aunt is demanding. My godmother is a younger sister, and her sister is demanding. And my stepmother is a younger sister. So I think that that's significant, and that the person who's raising me, the people who have the most influence, are people who had to accept the role model that was given them, and they took their ideas, their personhood, their womanhood from their older sisters, which is a very interesting dynamic, because I step forward because I am the eldest, I am the only. And when I move forward, I have to rely on the fact that the people who I am emulated someone else. So I think that plays into my personhood, simply because I end up getting a broader perspective of what it means to be a woman.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, and of course, in my real life, I am a voice actress, so if anyone's interested, and anyone needs any voiceovers, let me know.
Well, I'm Vernisha Jones. I'm about to be a freshman at Malcolm X College. I'm 19 years old. I graduated from Christ the King College Preparatory High School. And basically, my purpose in life is to make a difference. For the next person growing up. You feel me? The next person growing up, next young lady growing up. My purpose in life is to be somebody my parents could be proud of. My purpose in life is to be able to be my own, not have to depend on stuff from the government to take care of me, being able to do stuff on my own, and just to be a leader in the community.
No, I agree with that. I think we all need to strive for a sense of independence, and being leaders is something that is sorely needed. I mean, at times we do have a leadership vacuum. So I'd be proud to follow you anywhere, Vernisha.
Thank you. Are there ever times when limiting young people's choices of removing their choices actually empowers them?
I think that we face limitations every single solitary day, and I find that what is most impactful is the person who's doing the limiting. For example, I was told that I couldn't have boyfriends until I was 16, and that was a limitation. But it was extremely brilliant. My mother knew that I needed to concentrate on schoolwork, on chores, on learning how to just develop as a young woman, and she took a pressure off of me. It was a limit, and when she felt I was able to deal with it, there was no problem. And I never felt the same pressures that some women feel when they're freshmen, sophomores, in 8th grade. I didn't have to. I
Deal
didn't
with the
have.
same stuff.
I didn't have to deal with the same thing. I just didn't know. So I think that depending on who's doing the limiting, if it's a mother saying, I know my child, if it's a father saying, I know who you are and I know who I need you to be, then by all means, limit until you feel you're giving your child the best opportunity. But if we're talking about a societal limitation, such as girls from a particular school can't go to another school, or if we're talking about because someone was born with a defect in some way, or I don't want to call it a defect, but if someone was born with a particular condition and suggesting that they can't do something that someone else can, we're only limited by what we choose to be limited by. So
basically saying that, do you feel like that's what's messing up the young girls in our society? The fact that they can't do certain stuff, like the fact that we don't have it where a parent's telling you like you can't have a boyfriend at 16. You gotta wait till you're 16 to have a boyfriend. Do you feel like that's what's messing our youth up, or?
Honestly, I'm sorry. I think that our youth has challenges, but I would never say that they're messed up. I've met so many, you're one of them as a matter of fact, I've met so many wonderfully positive women, young women who understand what they want and are looking for guidance and are looking for examples that they can follow. But I don't think they're messed up. I can't say that. What I can say is that if they're facing a limitation, then for the young women I've met, you better watch out, because some of these ladies are ready to knock down doors. And if they don't have an example, then they're going to figure it out themselves. And that's going to be a very interesting thing. That's empowerment.
That's true. Is there a point where limiting or increasing the abilities of young people to access unhealthy or disempowering things actually becomes empowering?
That's a really interesting question. If anyone wants to weigh in on that, I really need some backup. I'd love to hear what you have to say. But my answer for right now is going to say...
Do you want to take the caller and you think about your answer?
Yeah, I'll take the caller.
We can take the next caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and yourself?
Fine. Hey, I was calling because I was just glimpsing through the channel. My name's Oliver Robinson, and as I was glimpsing, I saw Fathers Who Care, which the topic is about empowering young women. Uh-huh. Well, to me, to help empower them would be to more so as get them out of that they can't attitude, develop an I can attitude, and just face the challenges. Because at one time, back in the days of my generation, the women carried a very important part of maintaining the household things. And I'm not saying that they need to stay at home, but the women controlled the budget and everything in the house while the man went out and made the money. So they were given a talent right there to take care of and maintain things. But the younger sisters of today, most of them that I see want to just run around out in the street and hang out with the homeboys and things like that. And they need to really just slow down, regroup, and put things back together in their own perspectives.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for calling.
And that's how I feel about it.
Well, I think that you have an amazing perspective. Why do you find that they're out in the street?
Pardon me?
From your opinion, why do you find them out in the street?
Why are they out in the street?
You said that you found them, they wanted to hang out in the street.
I see them when I'm out driving around and different things, There used to be a time when our sisters would cover themselves up and would get man's respect from his eyes. Now you see the younger women out there just because the temperature is 90. They're in there with less than zero clothes on.
Oh, like I see.
I'm just saying, regain the respect that black women used to have for themselves. So it seems like to me that a couple of generations now, they've lost the respect of what they are. The way they carry themselves.
Okay, so you'd like to turn back the clock a little bit as far as morality is concerned and see some of the yesteryear morality come into our modern day.
Yeah, it's like corporate America, retrain, regroup.
I gotcha, retrain, regroup. I see what you're saying.
But as a black man, we can empower our sisters just by lifting them up and appreciating what they're doing. But I'm just saying, my sister, just kind of cover up and be the black woman, not just out there. You know what I'm saying? Look at yourself before you leave the house.
I'm understanding. So what I've gotten from you is 3 specific points. You want to see A, cover it up. Let's keep it a little less revealing. B,
Yeah.
you want to see them take a stronger role in the household. And number 3, you want to retrain, regroup, and reestablish some morals that we seem to have left behind.
That's all right.
Okay. Well, thank you.
That's coming from a 60-year-old gentleman.
Well, it certainly has perspective today. I appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Stay black, stay beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so with his comment, I basically felt like he was with the part when he was talking about that he felt like women should take a more stronger hold in the house. Basically, like he felt like it should go back to how it used to be. I feel like a lot of women they want to be more independent. They don't want it to be how it was when it was like back in the day where the woman stayed in the house and did everything in the house, and the men, women want to have their own money, do their own thing. So I feel like that's why a lot of women don't take such a bigger role in the house, and they go out and get it on their own instead of waiting for a man. And that's what a lot of girls are brought up nowadays. You don't depend on no man. You don't depend on nobody to do nothing for you. You have to go get it on your own.
Well, I mean, as much as I can certainly agree that there is a need for independence, and I can appreciate that. When you study other races that are successful, you see a very strong home, you see a very strong household, and you see a very strong woman at the head of that household. Although it certainly has some questions, you have to recognize that women-run households uplift a community, uplift a race, uplift the world. So there is something to be said about that.
We can take the next caller. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening. I want to say thank you for once again. This is Miss Griffin.
Hey.
And to the young man that just called recently, I guarantee him, if the men would step up and correct the young men, we can deal with the young ladies.
Sure.
The young men
Hello, Miss
that
Griffin.
has that leadership role that need to step up to the plate, to the leadership. And then we can mix male and female together. Because number one, as he said years ago, there were strong women who raised their children. The men went out and worked, brought the money home, and then that partnership was even stronger. And this is what we have to look at. We have to market ourselves and not the national market world, because the national market world is bewildering to us. They pretend and make it seem like we're not people, and we're some of the greatest people it is. All you have to do is look at these 2 fine young ladies here.
Oh, thank
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to higher learning, higher places. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Miss Griffin. Now, what I got from her was that she was saying that although Mr. Robinson had a interesting point when he talked about strong women, she's saying that if men would take a stronger role, then women would respond.
Yeah, so she basically, I feel like, what I got from her, she basically saying like, you can't put it all off on the women. Like, men not doing this because women not doing this. You gotta, like, everybody gotta have their own thing. Men have to do a certain thing, and women have to do a certain thing. So I understand what she's saying.
I understand what both of them are saying, and what I'm really hearing from all of our callers is that we do need to, as African Americans, we need to come together as a community. So there definitely needs to be a meeting of the mind between the women and the men, which is a wonderful situation to be in, because now you have a solution instead of a problem.
And that's true. So back to our questions. Did you ever think about your answer? Or you need me to read it?
I think, why don't you reread? I do have an answer. I think you should reread the question just to remind everybody where we were.
Is there a point where limiting or increasing the abilities of young people to access unhealthy and disempowering things actually becomes empowering?
Because we're talking about unhealthy things, I don't think giving you access to that is empowering. However, I understand that denying you access only increases your curiosity. So, honestly, I make better choices when I am thinking about someone else. Meeting you, your sisters, and the other young ladies that are part of our program, honestly, it's just made me think better about the decisions that I make for myself. If I have to buy you guys something to drink, I can choose between water, tea, and pop. Pop's not healthy for you. Water is boring. I know you guys are going to like the tea, so I'll get the tea. Now I'm thinking about myself when I have a choice. Pop is bad for me. Water is boring. Let's settle on the tea. So there's no point in time when I'm trying to deny you, but I understand that taking the option away from you is where I find myself restricting your decisions.
And I see we have another caller. They're coming in today. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, yes. Hi, my name is Charlene Thomas, and I'm only 80, thanking, praising God. And what I want to give, I heard the young lady say she wasn't allowed to play with boys until she was 16, and that's the way I was raised. And with the young ladies, we couldn't wear pants or anything. We could only do that with gym, when you take them to school. And we had to sit with our legs together, sit up straight, and and learn to speak properly, not loud, and both just like the girls are doing now, and to have respect for yourself and for other people. And like the boys, they couldn't come to your birthday parties or anything. Anyway, I was glad that happened to me, and how to have respect for other people, and help people. And most of all, too, when we were coming up, doing the streetcars, in order for us to go to the show, we had to go to church first. We had to go to school. So anyway, what you're speaking of is quite good too.
Thank you.
And so I have great grandchildren, girls that they've never heard of. You sit up proper and eat, chew with your mouth closed, knees together, back straight. A young lady. Yeah, so anyway.
Now, what you're speaking of, what's wonderful, what you're speaking of is etiquette. And what I was taught is that etiquette or good manners, and the reason I learned these things, my mother told me I had to learn this so that I would be acceptable to other people, so that I could make them feel comfortable with me. And what I hear you saying is that this is something that we've lost, or are you saying that this is something that you don't remember?
I remember, and I do this, and I pass this knowledge on to my great-grandchildren, because I have girls. We weren't permitted to wear pants, but now you see the girls, they sit with their legs all gapped, and, just so unladylike.
I understand.
So anyway, I just pray for all the kids, and learn them about Jesus Christ and how to love each other.
I agree with you. We all need more love, certainly. What was your name again?
Thomas, Charlene Thomas.
Miss Charlene Thomas. Thank you so much for your call.
Thank you, Miss Charlene. Okay. If you are now just tuning in, our guest tonight is Miss Adrian, and we are discussing how more mature women can empower younger women in our community. We would like to thank our viewers for watching and calling in. For additional information, you can contact us at 773-287-5821. Again, that number is 773-287-5821. Thank you. Tune in next week, same time, same station. You can say, yes, right?
Well, as last words to sum up, I'm so happy that I was here today. Vernisha, you really are quite wonderful. And I am thrilled to hear everything that our callers spoke of. So I'm hoping that we get an opportunity to speak with them again. Please feel free, Mrs. Thomas, Mr. Robinson, and if I'm forgetting anyone, please feel free to call back in. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.